Hello everyone, I'm Marina and today I'm going to present to you the topic of designer babies. So first of all, what is genetic engineering and the CRISPR-Cas9 technology? A definition given by Britannica. Genetic engineering, the artificial manipulation, modification, and recombination of DNA or other nucleic acid molecules in order to modify an organism or population of organisms. And another definition given by the collector, genetic engineering is the process of manipulating genes in a living organism to change its characteristics. It can be done by introducing new DNA or deleting or replacing existing genes. Genetic engineering aims to create organisms with desirable traits such as resistance to diseases, tolerance of extreme environments, or increased yield. The technology and idea of genetic engineering is quite new but widely spread in different medical and biological fields. The world has seen a few successful attempts in this new technology, but many not so great, more specifically horrifying. A successful one has been the golden rice experiment, which has been completed by several institutes and universities all over the world. The idea of this, essentially, not literally golden rice, is to prevent blindness in developing and third world countries. And an example of unsuccessful trial is a true horror story. Apparently, there was a research done in which scientists found that there are a lot more similarities between human DNA and mice DNA. That gave people the idea of combining the two genomes. It's needless to say that the results were horrifying. And finally, what is CRISPR-Cas9? This is a unique technology that enables genetics and medical researchers to edit parts of the genome by removing, adding, or altering sections of the DNA sequences. The basic explanation of how this technology works is like scissors. Scientists cut the part of the genome they want to replace and in its place put the genetically modified new part. What is a designer baby? A definition given by the Arizona State University. A designer baby is a baby genetically engineered in vitro for specially selected traits which can vary from lower disease risk to gender selection. There are a lot of traits that can be modified or try to be modified as gender, eye color, height, intelligence, face and body features, and athleticism. Not only the appearance can be modified, but also the risk of genetic diseases or hereditary ones. In theory, the embryo can be modified to not have dementia, Alzheimer's, Down syndrome, HIV, and much more. The Chinese experiment. In 2018, the Chinese scientist He Guanghui started an independent experiment on modifying two embryos with a healthy mother and HIV-positive father. His idea was that he can prevent the babies from having HIV. The gene is called CCR5, limiting the HIV pathway into the cell. Those babies were born and named Lulu and Lana. It turns out that the experiment was accidentally linked via YouTube video made by the scientist. The two babies were actually not immune to the HIV gene and they had it. The Chinese government allows and encourages genetic experiments as long as they stay as experiments, and the embryo is no longer than 14 days old. It is yet not publicly known nor confirmed by He Guanghui that this experiment is true. He has not yet posted in any medical journals about his research, and yet he is being prosecuted for his action. And not only he is being prosecuted, but the university he is working in, he stated that his research and experiments are independent and should not be associated with the universities, but they're also sued. Paul Knopfler on designer babies. Dr. Knopfler thinks that on the level of technology we are right now, this is too dangerous. There may be many benefits, but as much side effects like aggressiveness and narcissism. There are barely any laws prohibiting the creation of designer babies. Only the UK have passed a law allowing the creation of genetically modified persons to avoid rare genetic diseases. He thinks that some scientists may see this as a profit instead of just helping people, and the government can become more interested because of low healthcare costs. This can easily go south and become a Frankenstein 2.0 situation, he stated in his TED talk on designer babies. It is very unlikely situation, but it's not possible, and it's worst case scenario. Malia Fullerton, Professor Joyce Harper, and Dr. Robert Klitzman. All of these three professors think that this is immoral. They're all concerned that the parents will not be well informed and they will try to change the appearance of their kids. This can be considered ethical with time if it is related only to medical problems. There are a couple of concerns about what can go wrong. First, people, humans, can become a different biological species. There can be off-target effect. Not only the gene that is modified being modified, but also the genes surrounding it. There can be new genetic diseases, and the risk of implanting genetically edited embryo in women are unknown. Also, we cannot predict what diseases will the human genetically modify have in 8 years. We cannot predict if someone will have dementia or Alzheimer's, and we cannot possibly modify the genes for that because it is an unknown situation for us at this moment. Gattaca, 1997. This is a movie about an unbalanced society divided into people with perfect genes and normal people. The ones with perfect genes have been genetically modified by their parents to perfect them. And there is a divided society because people with perfect genes are considered upper class, as people with normal genes are considered a lower class. And this is not only sci-fi, this can become our reality if the designer babies become something that is possible. This is a situation we can be headed towards if there are no restrictions for designer babies. So, is this ethical? If you ask me, this can be considered ethical in the future to some extent. Right now, we don't have enough resources, information, and good enough technology to proceed with further experiments without it being dangerous. There are too many unknown things about those babies, and it is not right to make them into real human beings. When we are certain that nothing can go wrong, scientists and doctors could proceed with it. Parents should be perfectly informed and it should be used only, and I want to highlight, only for medical purposes, not because someone has decided that they want the perfect tall blue eyes and blonde hair baby. As of now, some people are obsessed of always perfecting how they look. They have many plastic surgeries and all kind of interventions to make their appearance better. So if they do that to themselves, they will most definitely try to do that to their unborn child, which is highly unethical, and it will stay unethical because people like the Kardashians, they have many plastic surgeries, and if they know they can genetically modify their babies, we will have some perfect little babies looking like the Kardashians walking around all over the world. So, to a certain extent in the future, this will definitely be ethical and save some lives, but only if it's to correct genetic diseases and hereditary ones. If it's only to perfect someone looks, it is not ethical. And here are the resources I used. Some YouTube videos, one TED Talk, and a lot of publications about genetic engineering and designer babies.